we need to address this horrific incident in Canada, which is one of the worst shootings in years. And just in transgender, 17-year-old Jesse Strang identified as the school shooter in Tumble Ridge, Canada, killing 10 people. I don't know this how to digest this. This is a big problem, and I'm going to address what the trans trend. I'm going to say, that I usually say transgenders. I'm not gonna do that today. I'm gonna begin saying the trans trend. This has been pushing down our throats like I don't know. A transgender teenager has killed 10 and injured 25 in Tumble Ridge, British Columbia, Canada. He began to identify as a woman in 2023. 6 victims were found dead inside Tumble Ridge Secondary School, and another died on the way to the hospital. This is terrible. We see the basically the social media of this guy who was, deranged and began to identify as a woman 2 or 3 years ago. The trans shooter who carried out one of the worst school shootings in Canadian history at Tumble Ridge, he began transitioning at age 15. I absolutely, I need to blame the parents. Whoever the parents are, 15 years old, you are a minor, and your parents should be responsible of you. So if you're starting this transitioning at 15, I don't know the laws of where he was, but even if the laws allow for that, that is a failure from the parents. No way around that. You're a parent of a 15-year-old who, oh, you know what? I feel like a woman. You have to try to find out what is going on, and that's one of the things that that was a glitch at the beginning of this show that I showed you. There's screenshots that actually these questions from the mother on a Facebook group. And my recommendation is that if you notice that you have a son with issues, and you should I don't know, look for professional help. Now that it has been confirmed that the post of the shooter's deceased mother made about him in a private Facebook group back in 2015. Does anyone else have a 7-year-old boy or girl who is very slow? I don't mean academically. He's very smart. Just needs to be asked a million times to do anything at home or school. And there's these highlights. He loves to run, scream, squawk, and sometimes he hurts his siblings. He doesn't hit at all at school. The school wants him tested for behavioral disorder. He also has a huge heart and shows intense empathy when he sees anyone hurt, not by his own hand, but has a devious grin when he hurts his siblings. He covers things up and lies to get out of taking responsibility for his actions. Again, this can absolutely happen, but you need to catch these things as soon as you can. Have to catch the things as soon as you can. I find at home he also has times where he can be very helpful and nice. Then other times he's pretty mean. So that makes me think it's more of a me problem than his problem. Again, that is kind of the mother saying, I am guilty of something. This is something of a me problem, not as a his problem or something that is going on with him. And at the same time, we don't know what are the circumstances of his upbringing. That is also true, and that's why I want to talk about this again, trans trend, more in a systemic problem, because these kids, they are literally kids. They are running to identify in some kind of, I don't know, fashionable way, because you know that being transgender nowadays is almost fashionable. If you get like, I don't know, 6% of the young population saying that, oh yeah, I'm either gay or trans, which we knew that not very long ago, I say like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you said like the amount of gays or the percentage of gays was 2%. It was okay. It was something that was up until very recently very standard. Hadn't changed that much. And from that 2% who consider themselves gays, you had a even smaller 2 to 5% of that 2%. Okay, we're going to like in this smaller and smaller percentages who identified as trans. And how come you have more than 5 or 6% right now that have these disorders? So this is basically a trend, something trendy pushed by liberals to mask for actual mental illnesses. And the problem is that mental illnesses is not like, oh, you're just crazy and that's it. We call it a day. No, that is a systemic problem that starts with nurturing. And that's why I'm trying to connect with a video that I made, I don't know if it was yesterday or a couple of days ago, in which it is so important. The first 4 to 5 years of age is so important for the mother to be with the baby, with the toddler, and that is non-negotiable. Else, you're going to have this kind of situations. You're going to say that it directly contributes, but it's a huge, huge factor. Police found 5 victims inside the school, 2 more at a nearby residence, and another person died on the way to the hospital. Around 25 children were injured. Children. Yeah, it's like around 0.02%, something like that. People who are actually transgender, or who were actually transgender 20 years ago, before all this began. You know who began pushing for all this. We all know who began pushing for all this. And you know that for the authorities, in this case, the one in charge of this investigation, it was more important to conceal the identity of the shooter. And when there is this horrific shootings, then if they conceal details about the perpetrator, okay, it's still a kid, 17 years old. It's still a kid. Could be, privacy because he's a minor. But you know the reason why they didn't want to say who the guy was. Because, it's like people are going to jump to conclusions. It's not like we knew, of course, we couldn't possibly know. But then when the identity is released, you see that there's nonsense like this happening. A transgender shooter in Canada guns down 5 people, and the police are more afraid of misgendering the suspect than they are of providing factual information. And they were very, very hell-bent onto saying trans person, gun person. They didn't want to say gunman. No, they had to say gun person.
That includes the deceased gun person.
Okay. And then separately, do you know the gun person's relationship?
This is a joke. This is a joke. This is the society in most of the Western world we are going through. This insanity has to stop. This insanity has to stop, and I don't see this. I can't see this stopping anytime soon. We need we need 25 years to heal from all this and try to pretend that this never happened. But we cannot pretend that this never happened because we cannot forget about how millions were gaslit into believing that, we are not going to have any more insane asylums that is inhuman. No, we're going to just release these people on the street, and if they feel different or they are somewhat crazy, we're going to pump them. We're going to either pump them with drugs, or we're going to tell them, maybe you were born in the wrong body, and that could be a solution for them, which is insane. I would like to speak in behalf of this, because people from the future are going to judge us, saying, what were these people thinking? And as for me, when people find out about me in the future, I want them to know that I was against all this. I want to make sure of that. So, you see that Disclosed TV just in the description: mass school shooting in Tumble Ridge. Police have identified the shooter but won't release details at this time for quote-unquote privacy reasons. Yeah, and the shooter offed himself. Yeah, himself, that's it. It was a he. We're gonna go with that insanity. He was in a trans forum where he discussed his violent fantasies. Transgenders are a terrorist group. This is allegedly, I don't know if this was the guy. I find it addictive. It's hard to not watch violent content. I'm just drawn to it. I don't think much of it. Though to say it doesn't affect me, it's likely naive. I'm sure maybe subconsciously it does. It just doesn't feel like a big deal. I'm drawn to substances too. It's easy to get high and just zone out into videos of this stuff. I'm gonna tell you one big problem. People are absolutely aimless nowadays. And I'm talking about adults. And adults are aimless. So many adults are aimless. They don't know what to do with their lives. And it's so contradictory because we are living in the wealthiest, healthiest, most peaceful era of humanity. And so many people are developing mental illnesses. And so many people are resorting to drugs. Why? Because they're aimless. Now imagine what happens to a teen who watches the world around him and watches the insanity that is Canada right now and watches the insanity that could be his family and his family's friends and his extended family that are buying into maybe woke stuff. At school it is programmed as well. Are you sure that you're not gay? Are you sure that you're not gay? Are you really sure? Are you completely sure that you're not gay? If you get that asked every day, yeah, of course everyone is going to wonder if you're a kid. You begin to wonder if you're gay or not. And since gay nowadays is not much of a big deal, because, yeah, it's not much of a big deal, because it is not, then they have to, let's say, ramp up things and go all the way. No, I'm not just gay. I was born in the wrong body. I'm transgender. They have to go all the way. It's like, it is like a drug, right? You have those that gives you a kick, and once that kick no longer is a kick, you have to ramp up the dose. But in this case, a society. I don't know which other way to explain this. But that is the horrific circumstances that we are living right now. The Canadian gun person, switching. The Canadian gun person who killed 9 people, including teens at a British Columbia school and members of his own family before taking his own life. Oh, right, that was horrific. Is a trans person. Police initially said the suspect was a female in a dress. They said that. A female in a dress. And yeah, that moment, everybody knew. Everybody knew that moment was the moment that we realized what was this about. And are not confirming the suspect identity. We already know the suspect's identity. This is one of Canada's deadliest mass shootings, and the suspect joins a fast-growing list of trans mass killers in North America. The gunman's alleged YouTube avatar is a gun and an anime character on top of a trans pride flag. This is way too bad. Therefore I am. According to now deleted Reddit posts by Strang, wait for it. This is very good. This is very good. CW, idle hands, idle, right? Idle hands are the devil's workshop. Idle hands are the devil's workshop. I couldn't agree more. He had used psychedelics, mushrooms, nearly set his house on fire, and ended up in a mental hospital. After he was released, he was reportedly seeking other psychedelic substances. At the time, he was taking a high-dose antidepressant and an antipsychotic. Sadly, this is the problem. And this is a reality that we need to deal with. And there's no way around this. Some people just belong to one insane asylum. And whatever recovery they could get, whatever, let's say, fix they could get, because they can be fixed, has to happen inside the insane asylum. You cannot just release them into the wild, release them to their family homes, because that would be a danger to their families, to their friends, to that school, to society. And no, that doesn't happen, because that is wrong. Apparently that's something bad. Oh, you can't put people in that kind of a stigma. But then this risk is worth taking, and again, society is allowing these kids to be programmed and poisoned this way, because these young minds have been poisoned, and that is the main problem, and that's what has to be stopped. Besides so many things that are happening. But I would like to know, what do you think about this in the comments? My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Bad Language Guy. Much love.